How's it going, everyone? It is Rob and Jonny. We are here with episode 7 of MMArcade. Rob, how's your week been, man?
Mate, it has been good. I just came back from a retreat and spa called Gaia.
Yeah.
It's up near Byron Bay. I thought, because I've been training since last year, because I was training for Costa and then I was getting ready for a mystery fight, and then finally I was given Dricus, which I'm sure we'll touch on.
Absolutely,
shortly.
we are.
But I figured, let's just get away for a couple of days with the wife, really zero in and just zen out so that I could come back for the next 10 and a half weeks of camp just really prepare for war. And let me tell you, if you want to go somewhere to relax and chill, Gaia Spartan Retreat, it's just amazing out there up in Byron. It's very rainforesty, it's very quiet, very all that Zen stuff.
I'm jealous now, mate.
Give it a sus, mate. It is
absolutely.
It is good to get away from the hustle and bustle. But I'm back, hungrier than ever.
We're back and we're ready to record the next episode. We've got a bit of an interesting episode this week. Of course, as Rob mentioned, we will be talking about his upcoming fight. We have a fight night to recap as well. Particularly, we'll talk about Pavlovich versus Blaydes. Plus, as always, some big games news, what we're watching, playing, or reading, and fan questions at the end. If you have any fan questions, please let us know in the comments. Subscribe if you are new. But Rob, are you ready to get started on the UFC Fight Night recap?
I am, mate. And let me tell you, so this is, for everyone that followed my multi last week, this is what I'm going to be talking about. This is what I'm going to be talking about. Last week's fight recap is just going to be my multi, which went straight down the drain. I couldn't have been more on it. It's like the gods of luck said, nah, you're not getting it. So my tips involved Curtis Blaydes obviously winning, Bobby Green winning, and Junior Taffa winning. And I guess let's start at the bottom and work our way up. Something different this week.
Sure.
Okay. So did you see the Junior Taffa Muhammad Usman fight?
I did. I want to hear your thoughts about it, man, because I got some feelings.
Okay, because so Junior Taffa came out strong, man.
He did.
He was working him over, and I was like, this is the best.
Yep.
How good is this? To kick off my tips.
Yep.
Junior Taffa's going to get the first round finish. And then I think the absolute unthinkable happened. That the thing that every MMA fan hates to see. And that's two heavyweights wrestling and going to the ground for a grapple. Dude.
Oh, dude.
They went to the ground and they just laid there until the ref pulled them back up, and they came back out for the next one. Then they again, Junior Taffa looked a little bit dangerous, but Muhammad knew what he needed to do. Really, really invested in that takedown because he knew once Junior got on his back, there was no getting back up, and that's what happened.
Dude, I know you said he knew what he needed to do, but I really feel like, especially with his stand-up game, he needs to improve on it. I know that he's big enough that he can take people down, and that's exactly what he did to Taffa for most of that fight, right? But did you just see him take shots from Taffa and not even try? His defense was trying to take a takedown. It wasn't covering his face or dodging at all, because that just is not who he is as a fighter. I feel like if he fights anyone else in the future, higher up on the card, I feel like they're going to poke holes in this game for sure.
Yeah, for those just listening, I'm shrugging. Okay, there are multiple shrugs. What do you do? I think Usman is obviously a very fit athlete. He's a physical specimen.
Yeah.
You look at the size of the dude walking into the octagon, massive. But don't think I'll ever see him in the top 10.
No.
That's not to say I've no beef or anything like that. That's not to say he can't. I just think at right this time that wasn't a top 10 performance. And
I agree.
Yeah, that was a yucky fight.
It was a yucky fight, and I was hopeful.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we all were.
Yeah.
It's two banging heavyweights that we expected to go in there and slugfest.
Yeah,
but to Muhammad's credit, though, his credit, he wasn't winning the slugfest.
No, but he wasn't trying to defend properly. I don't know.
So he turned it into a wrestle and a grappling match.
Yeah.
And, hats off to that. But that was the start of me tips, and that was a shining start to my 3-leg multi. Next up, we have Bobby Green, Jared Gordon.
Go on.
Have you seen Bobby Green's reaction post fight?
I did see that. Yeah, I was,
and how he's talking about his money.
Yeah,
and like, what do you think about all that?
Dude, I mean, like, I was even surprised when he was first told that it was going to be a no contest. He's like, what? No contest? I'm like, come on, brother. I'm not saying no one said that he intentionally went in with that headbutt, but there was no other answer. Are you saying?
I reckon he would. I reckon he did do it intentionally.
No.
I've seen goats that headbutt less than that. That was crazy. Dude went in at a full charge.
I agree, but like he also, if you look at his, because I think it was his left hand, like he did go for a punch, but the thing is, he has such a weird ass stance when his hands are down all the time that he has to move his head to not take hits. So I feel like that was just part of it. And the commentators, they said something interesting. They were like, when you have a southpaw against an orthodox, head clashes like this can happen more often. So I feel like that contributed to it. I don't feel like he was being malicious. That's just my opinion.
From what I saw,
yeah.
If your head is leading the hook, like if your head connects with your opponent faster than your hook does, you are trying to headbutt him. I know head clashes happen, but dude, the pictures I saw, the angles that I was given, it looked like he missiled into him. It wasn't a small thing.
I think, Rob, when you do the whole stop motion and you go into slow motion and you break it down frame by frame, anything can look bad. It happens in the NRL as well, as a random aside, with random stuff like that all the time. Whenever you break it down, it doesn't feel natural. When you look at it in normal speed, I thought he was going for the punch and he was ducking his head, or at least he did go in with his head a little bit, but it was just part of in my eyes, how he was defending because he wasn't keeping his guard up. I don't know. I don't like his stance, by the way. I want to make that clear.
What's Bobby Green like? What do you do?
I know.
I don't know. And to be fair, I think a few things could be done differently. I think the ref could have jumped on that way sooner than as soon as it happened, because it wasn't like an accidental headbutt where it was like through a scramble and you couldn't really see it. No, you saw it happen. He didn't pull up on it. Okay. I think the referee could have jumped in and just saved us all a lot of grief.
For sure.
And mate, like headbutts would have been fine if we had no rules, but that, I don't know, that looked like he led with his head. You can't do that. You can't do that in any combat sport. And
so are you
it happens. I understand that.
Yeah.
But you can't. What happens is you get DQ'd that's just the way.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you. Did you think that a no contest was sufficient, or you think it should have been a full DQ?
No, I think he's sorry, no contest. I think he's lucky he got a no contest.
Yeah.
Just because of how. Like for me sitting here, I think it looked pretty malicious. Not malicious as in like he wanted to headbutt him, but it's like it's a move that you can get away with sometimes, just not this time sort of thing, you know? Because headbutts happen in the sport. They do, and I understand that. Because I've been headbutt heaps of times and different things happen. Okay? It happens, but I don't know. That was pretty blatant. I knew no contest, I think, was the right call just because that was a massive headbutt.
I know, it's on the temple, bro.
Bobby Green says that like he was good and then I pow-powed him and knocked him out. Dude, mate.
No.
You missiled into his temple with the dome of your head, like your shiny ass head.
Yeah.
You missiled into his temple and he didn't know. He forgot how to like say the alphabet before he started laying in there.
That's what I was most surprised by, as I said, when he was like, what? No contest? Are you kidding?
Yeah,
I'm like, man, come on. That was like, that, as you said, I think it was the right call, but it was borderline. And it probably, if another judge looked at it in another day, or the commission looked at it in another day, it could have gone the other way, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, I found it weird because like after the fight, he's very upset, and understandably upset. He didn't get his win purse, right? And he's like, "Where's my money? Where's my money?" And then, do you remember the press conferences beforehand when he had that stack of cash, like $60K?
I didn't see that. No.
He had it on the desk in the press conference. He's like, "This is what I do for." He's like, "Where's my money, bro? Yeah, you withdrew it. It's in note form somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, but he's a character. Even his blog afterward continues that character, and I do look forward to seeing him back in there. Okay, but anyway, Bobby Green to win, no contest. The goddess of luck was not shining down on my tips this week, because then we have Sergey Pavlovich versus Curtis Blaydes. Okay, and me and you were very opposite here. I remember you were like, I take the L on this one because I thought Curtis Blaydes could do it differently. I thought it would be different. I don't know. Sergey's got some dumb power, but
dude, he's a scary, scary dude. Oh.
Yeah, man. Like,
I felt the room
like sort of
shake.
Dude that grew up eating nails.
Oh man, this kind of went the way that I saw it. I just thought that he was going to rain haymakers until Curtis Blaydes copped it on the chin, and people laughed at me when I was like, I was too critical when I said Blaydes doesn't have a chin, but there was a top comment on Twitter that said this, Rob, and I want to get your view on it. Curtis Blaydes, this wasn't me, someone else. This person said Curtis Blaydes would be a top heavyweight if he had a heavyweight chin. Do you feel that's a fair comment? It's a tough one, I know, because you're going up against big dudes, like especially Pavlovich with the heaviest hands in the division right now. But he just did. He wasn't taking those hits.
Yeah, maybe, but he's been hit by other people though. He's been hit by like Overeem.
But he's been KO'd by people. Now, I think the last 3 of his fights has been knocked out.
The last 3?
The last 3 of his losses though. It was like last week I think I said,
It was Ngannou, Lewis, and now Pavlovich.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But who haven't those guys knocked out?
No, you're right.
Sort of.
But that's the thing.
I reckon Lewis was kind of like you shot at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But you might be onto something though. Curtis Blaydes. When I see Curtis Blaydes line up to the other heavyweights, I feel like he's got a smaller head than they do.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you look into that, but maybe it means something because, mate, you're exactly right. Oh, but it's so hard to say because the guys that have knocked him out have knocked everybody out.
I know. I'm not.
Thereabouts.
I agree. I
agree. How can
you
say he doesn't have a heavyweight chin? Because, he hasn't been knocked. Yeah,
it's the nature of the division for sure. Like you can't deny that. But I will say this about Blaydes in that fight too. He wasn't really doing what he needed to do, like exactly what you said last week to win that fight. He was trying to stand and bang, and you can't do that against Pavlovich.
Yeah, especially when he talked up wrestling so much. Like
I know. What happened to that game plan?
Going like shoot, shoot. Like everyone was, man.
Yeah.
Because you just had to drain his arms a little bit, Curtis, a little bit. Don't listen to the fans saying you're just going to take him down. Don't do that. Just take him down. Oh man, it is what it is. But Curtis Blaydes really does have a kryptonite, which is the heaviest hitters in the division.
Yeah. But he's in the heavyweight division. Like that's the thing. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So what about Pavlovich then, Rob? He is clearly this. For me, he's the scariest guy in the division. He definitely has the heaviest hands. I think it's obvious that Jones is going to be fighting Stipe next. Some people argue that it should be Pavlovich, but hypothetically, I reckon Jones wins that fight. How does Pavlovich against Jones go?
I think I would love to see Stipe versus Pavlovich.
Okay. You want to see that next before the Jones fight?
Oh, well, it's not going to happen, but it's just a fight that I would like to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Jones, I think dismantles Pavlovich. Jones is
all right.
Jones is good, dude. Like good. Very So good, so good. His range and his control of the space, his creativity of the strikes, the diversity in which he attacks, high, low, body, the way he stands, everything is meticulated to being a perfect fighter, to being to giving you looks that keep you off balance, to not knowing where it comes from, to not knowing where the shots are landing, to not knowing where. What is he going to – and you're fighting John Jones, mate. You're always wondering what's he going to do next, because John Jones doesn't have a one recipe beats all. He changes it every fight.
He does.
And in that that setting, he will close the distance and grab you. And once he gets a hold of Pavlovich, he will dismantle him. Okay. Jones is wrestling. Curtis Blaydes has wrestling. I know this. Jones is better, I believe. Just holistically, okay, not just freestyle, which Jones is very, very good, okay, especially when we're talking mixed martial arts takedowns. He took DC down, you know, he took down DC of all people,
best in the business.
He's overall holistic grappling, so mixing the takedowns with the striking, with his grappling, with the size he's put on. If he gets his hands on any heavyweight, it's done. I don't believe any heavyweight can last in that scenario.
Well, I wanted to ask you that, like if it's not Pavlovich and it's not Stipe, who's coming down the line?
Jones doesn't lose until he retires.
Until he retires, yeah.
Unless he walks under a ladder, you know, whilst
gets a bit
kicking
of bad
a black
luck.
cat.
Yeah.
At night.
Breaks glass, breaks a mirror.
Yeah. And then he has to go in with his toe untaped and trip over into a Sergey uppercut. I think that's how Jones could lose, maybe, because did you see when he fought, who was that guy with the big hammer on his chest when they were light heavy? Oh, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, it's killing me. It starts with an S.
I'll search
Santiago? Santos. Tiago Santos. Yeah. There we go. Santiago. I was there.
You were getting there. Process of elimination, you got to the right.
Yeah. The CTE, mate. It's no good. He was landing heavy shots on him. Heavy shots, mate. And because I was there and I was seeing the sweat fly off Jones's head. Unfazed. Jones has chin made of granite. He's never been hurt really in a fight. It's unreal.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
And the way that he came out against Gunn. I agree.
Jones deserves the hype. He deserves the talk up. He deserves the respect and awe people put in his name when they're going to go up against him.
Sure.
He's earned that much. So I don't think Sergey would ever feel like I'm underselling him at this moment. But that was the end of my multi.
Bad run this week, Rob.
Yeah, mate, it was a bad run, but.
You were doing so well as well in the podcast. You were doing well.
It's such a hard game to tip. Yeah. I give the best analysis that I can, and mate, but still, it's whoever shows up on the night. It's
I mean, well, that was the UFC Fight Night, but the next topic that we have to talk about, Rob. All right, I want to let you obviously take the floor with this one, and I'll ask questions as they come up. But Du Plessis, all right, it's been announced, your fight with him. Tell me all about it, man. Tell us all about it, because you were saying you haven't really talked about this, aside from your announcement tweet, you haven't really talked about this publicly. So I'm really keen, we're all keen to get your thoughts on this.
I am so excited to finally have a date and to finally have an opponent.
Hell yeah.
Dricus, we were looking for a fight. I wanted to fight July. I heard Sydney was in September. September is way too late for me to wait around and do nothing. I wanted to fight in February, but you know, the dice falls funny sometimes.
Yeah.
So we were talking to Mick and Hunter back and forth. I said, "Give me Dricus. Let's do July International Fight Week, 30th." Anniversary of the UFC, 30 years anniversary for the UFC. International Fight Week, biggest fight week of the year. No better time to get in there. 10 and a half weeks. The time is perfect for me and him because I understand he had nose surgery.
Yeah.
Make this happen. And they said, all right, he just had surgery, but let me see how he's going. He said yes. I said yes. It was announced the same day by Dana.
Nice.
And now I have a target. I have a goal, and I'm officially in war camp, mate.
That is, man, I'm actually stoked for you because you were talking about it's been a little bit a while. You made some jokes about the money, but more like you want to be active. You want to be fighting, and now you have a goal. So, like, can you at all break down how you feel like the fight's going to go, or what your prep is going to be like? Anything that you can speak of?
Yeah, so I'm in great shape to be 10 and a half weeks out. I'm in great shape to be entering the camp, really, because I've been plodding along, looking for an opponent, but trying to stay ready for potential fights when they come up. But so I'm entering this camp on, and I'm not underestimating Dricus at all. You don't get to where he is in the division without being damn good at what you do. I understand he's tough. I understand he's got cardio and he's got the complete skill set. But I do believe that I am just better. I believe I have everything he does and more to give, and I'm better at it. And that's just the truth. That's just facts. I never underestimate my opponents, and I know not to underestimate Dricus because he's the sort of guy that if you underestimate him, which a lot of people have, he dismantles you. Yeah. He beats you up. He takes you into the phone booth. He makes it a really yucky fight, and I'm not going to do that. I'm training for war, absolute 15 minutes of carnage, and that's how I always do my fights because he's a tough guy. But let me say, I am very good at fighting tough guys. I'm very good at fighting tough guys. Yeah. And I'm good at dismantling them, and I look forward to finally getting back in there international fight week and being across from him and doing my job.
Man, we're all looking forward to it. And do you know what I was thinking that I should do? I should live stream a fight companion. Watch you live. Yeah, on the channel. I reckon. Me live, yeah. Let us know in the comments if you'd like to see that. I think that'd be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. 100%. Yeah, please do. Comment down below if that's what you want to see. Yeah. But yeah, that's the fight. He apparently he had nose surgery, so he can breathe. I think he mentioned he was breathing out at 8%. He was breathing at 8% efficiency before. Yeah. But I don't even know how that I don't know how that works.
I saw someone say it was like, he's only getting 8% oxygen. I'm like, I don't think that works like that. But obviously the next big aspect of this fight, the next big aspect of this fight, Rob, is the fact that it's been confirmed officially the winner faces Izzy. So how do you feel about that? All right.
I'm not looking past Dricus. Okay, I understand this is a contention fight, and this is what I want. This puts me and him in a position to fight for the title next. But I can't look past Dricus. I understand the threat he proves, the threat he presents to me, and just how dangerous he really is. And I feel like that's why I do so well against these guys, and why I beat a lot of these guys that are riding, win streaks and hype trains and everything else, because I never underestimate my opponent, and I prepare for the absolute best ticket that I'm going to, encounter. And the one thing I am looking for though is I'm focusing on Dricus only, and I'm going to fight Dricus, and I'm fighting July 8th. That's all I got penned in, but I would like to fight in September as well on Sydney, and how that plays out after Dricus, we'll worry about that then. Yeah. But I definitely want to get that September card as well, because it's my backyard. You'll be at that one day.
Yeah, so, I 100%. Swing me a ticket, Rob.
Yeah. So definitely, mate. Easy. Yeah. But it's like that. I know what this fight means, and just how important it is. But none of that really matters. I just got to do my job. I got to get in there and dismantle this fella.
Dude, honestly, I think I speak for everyone watching right now and listening. We're keen to see you fight July 8. Let's see what happens, man. I'm seeing a lot of people that are favoring you. Don't need to comment on that, but I reckon you're going to feed him, Rob. But any remaining thoughts that you have on anything UFC? I know we have a fight night coming up, but I think we're just going to be talking about the results of that after it occurs because we have a lot to talk about this week. But any lingering thoughts?
Yeah, no, I'm good to move on to gaming.
Mate, we've got a big week in game. Like this actually dropped. So for a little bit of inside baseball, we usually record on a Wednesday night, but we had to push it back by a day. And because we did, we can talk about this topic again. No, but this week was on me. But because we did, we get to talk about this topic because this morning it was announced. You all know that Microsoft has been looking to acquire Activision-Blizzard. That was their intention, and it's been going through regulators across the UK and the US and major countries that they do business in. It was announced this morning that the UK CMA, their markets authority, has blocked the deal. Specifically what they said, and this is a quote, the final decision to prevent the deal comes after Microsoft's proposed solution failed to effectively address the concerns in the cloud gaming sector. That was very specific. This decision was because of cloud gaming. The merger could make Microsoft even stronger in cloud gaming, stifling competition in this growing market. And then it listed some of the shortcomings, like it didn't sufficiently cover different cloud gaming business models, including multi-game subscription services, pretty much saying we're worried about what Microsoft's going to do in the cloud service and they're going to become a monopoly. Very, very long and short of it. This is a huge deal. Microsoft has said they're going to appeal it. Activision's obviously with them to appeal it. But Rob, what do you think about this? Like this was going to be the big acquisition, like almost $70 billion. And this is going to be putting a major stop to that.
Yeah, it's because like they don't want Microsoft to take over the world. Like, let's be honest, because that's what's going to happen if they get this deal. It's a matter of time before they swallow up everything. Just like more or less like what UFC did with the fight organization with MMA. They swallowed every other fight organization and produced the most premier fight organization, and now like it's very hard for other shows to pop up. There's two, like they're kingpins, and that's Xbox is already that, but yeah, this takes them one step closer to world domination. Plus, it also lets them move into that online gaming, WoW, Diablo space, which. Like realistically is like one of the only places Xbox hasn't really taken over yet.
It's a very interesting decision because like one of the big things going in, and you and I talked about this a few weeks ago, was actually Call of Duty. That was the big thing because PlayStation especially were worried that Call of Duty would be made an exclusive or they'd be getting an inferior Call of Duty product. And that's what they were kind of bargaining for and saying, hey, you can't approve this deal because of that. Call of Duty seemingly didn't come into this decision at all. And because of that, it seems like the market authority isn't actually concerned about that big title and exclusivity. It was very specific about cloud gaming, which again is very, very interesting. They're kind of saying the future in cloud gaming, which to an extent, it absolutely is. But what this is going to mean...
What do they mean when they say cloud gaming?
So like you could, for instance, on your TV, instead of having a console or whatever, you could just stream a game, right? And you would need really good internet to do it. And obviously in Australia, I know a lot of us don't, but you could do that without having a PC or console on hand. And that's what the UK CMA was saying. It's like Microsoft is going to monopolize essentially that aspect of the industry. And we see that part of the industry being huge in the future. And I don't disagree with cloud gaming in the future being very big. Like imagine if anyone had a TV with good internet, boom, you can play whatever game you want.
It'll be Netflix for video games.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah, like people have been throwing up a few possibilities. Like, do they pull out of the UK market? Like, no, they're not going to do that. They're going to appeal it, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, they're just trying to stop Xbox from taking over the world, dude. Like that's literally it. Because let's be honest, if Xbox gets this deal, they are so close to world domination.
I think they're a step away from that. I agree with their argument that gaming is a bigger circle. It includes companies like Netscape and other like Chinese-based companies that are huge in the mobile gaming space. That's how I see it as a holistic games industry. And if you're including cloud gaming as part of that, you kind of have to take that broader view. This is not just consoles and big exclusives like, Call of Duty and games like that. It's much bigger than that, and it includes console game, cloud gaming, and it includes mobile gaming. So that's my thought on it, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be very interesting, but it's just going to be more waiting to see whether this acquisition actually does take place. But the next topic that we have to talk about is Star Wars Jedi Survivor is releasing this week. This is the big AAA release coming out this week. Reviews are very, very strong. So that has an 86 on OpenCritic right now. The biggest knock against it at the moment is PC performance. So people with like beefy systems like an RTX 4090, they're reporting huge frame drops, even with the day one patch. But this is what IGN said about the game. If Respawn ever made a third game like Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, which is the first one, it'll complete the best Star Wars trilogy in 30 years, hands down. People are really, really high on this game. Did you ever play Fallen Order, Rob, the first Star Wars game?
I didn't play any Star Wars game.
No, not at all. None.
No, I haven't seen Star Wars. Like,
Rob!
Yeah.
Wait, like the movies?
I know. No, yeah.
Not a single Star Wars movie. Hold on.
Not a single one.
Brother.
Because they weren't released in order, and that just messed with my head. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Oh, man. Mate.
The main character changed so much. And then once I found out Luke Skywalker wasn't a good guy, like, I was like, I don't know. I have multiple reasons why I don't watch it.
I can't wait.
I did play.
Yeah.
I did play one Star Wars. It was on Xbox, and it was like a battle royale Star Wars where I think Battlefront.
Yeah, Star Wars Battlefront.
2?
Yeah.
Where you ran around as a drone and then you smash people, and then if you got enough kills, you got to play as like Darth Vader.
Yep.
And dude, that game was sick. I loved playing that with my mates because you could just like start hammering into them, and then you become Darth Vader, just run absolute muck on people. But I remember that one. That was the only one I ever played though.
Fair. I mean, this one is definitely more if you're looking for a single player experience, like on your own. But you've said, Rob, that you don't really like games that have a set character, and you can't really change that. That's what this game is. So I don't know if it's up your alley. But it's looking good.
It's not for me.
The thing that I wanted to talk about as well is this seems to be another PC port that is having issues, and it's been a trend for a while now, but it's happened again this year. I think it's just the way it is. Like PC ports just don't. I know it is very difficult if you really think about developing for a PC. How many combinations of graphics cards and CPUs and SSDs are out there? It is so hard to optimize for PCs generally, right? But you look at console, it's a set ecosystem, set specs, you know what you're working with. That's why, on average, console games actually, like at launch especially, tend to perform a little bit better than PC, unless it's, they're treating all consoles and all platforms equally. But I've been talking about this recently. PC gaming sometimes is a little bit of a headache for me, man. I don't know why. There always seems to have issues.
But what, because of like the ports and everything?
It's the ports, and maybe with this new PC that I got, I had a huge ton of issues with it. Sometimes with console, it's just simplistic. You turn it on, it's going to work, right? I don't know, that seems, it's joyful to me that it works every time. And obviously console has its own issues and stuff, but with PC, you always have to set your settings right. You make sure you get the right driver. You have this random issue. You're going to change a file randomly, and you got to roll back drivers if that one doesn't work. There always seems to be something with PCs, but consoles are very simple and they work most of the time, and that's why I love them.
You know what the thing is though, and that's fine. It's like, this is my thing with PC and console gaming. Okay, console gaming, you get what you get.
Yes.
All right. You're given this, and this is all you have. You can choose out of these list of games to play, and this is it. That's that. With PC, mate, if I want to play a game where I'm a walking teddy bear that has a day job and then has a family and then is a part dating sim, part rom-com part adventure life.
You can.
Bloody farming sim. I can. It's probably up there. I'll find it right now. Like you can do whatever you want. You know what I mean? And there's a game for everybody. There's a game for every taste, every niche. And like PC gaming is true freedom.
And not to mention, man, you and I like love Bethesda games, modding. Like modding and then, like I've had this internal argument in my head, but you can't deny the benefits that PC gaming has. Modding is huge.
Oh, it's like your favorite. Imagine your favorite game that never released a sequel. Like that's what modding does.
Yeah,
dude,
I think there's no denying. You look at a game like Skyrim, or even Fallout 4 to a bit of a lesser extent, but to me, those games don't stay as relevant. They're still relevant. They wouldn't be as relevant if it wasn't for modding today, because like the things that people have done to that game because of all the mods in the modding community is insane. And you can only, I know that they've introduced it on Xbox and a little bit on PlayStation, but you only get the true experience on PC. So that's definitely a benefit, right?
And like modding is so important to those games that Bethesda got on board with them. They brought out their own modding branch where they supported the creators. It's mate, like Skyrim without mods, I don't know if I could play it anymore. You know?
Well, it's because you've played the vanilla so many times. You need a different, like, and that's so completely understandable.
But now I like being able to have 10 bandoliers rocking my body with a cape, and you know what I mean. And like the cold and heat, they're like affecting me, and like everybody going inside when it's raining. It's the little things. It's the little things.
Yeah, but that's why I will say though. That's why I really like what Xbox is doing, because they have brought a lot of mods and allowed companies like Bethesda to bring so many mods to console, to where like you actually have access to a decent suite of mods on Fallout 4 or Skyrim on Xbox now, which I think is awesome.
You know what I love about Xbox, is that they have really, really pushed the bill on cross-platform gaming.
Yeah.
Okay. Because my kids play a lot of Xbox games because they only have Xbox. And they have a PlayStation as well, but when I want to play games with them, they know they have to be on Xbox. So like if I want to play Grounder with them or Sea of Thieves with them, I can play that from my computer and then from their Xbox, because the cross-platform play, which I think is huge. You know, it just it increases the audience size by so much.
I really do like, and I'm being genuine with this. I really love what both platform holders do. So like obviously PlayStation, they're known for the exclusive, their big first parties and their single player games. But then Xbox with Game Pass, with cross-platform play, as you said, with modding, like they each have their own niche. And really, like you do have a sufficient reason to buy both if you want. So I got my PCs, I've got my PlayStation as well. So I really like the different strategy that they're going with. I think Phil Spencer has done such a good job with Xbox. It cannot be understated at all. Yeah,
and let's be honest, like they're both consoles, but they're so different. Like which is crazy to think, because they essentially do the exact same thing and they have a lot of the same games, but they have such a unique blend to their own cultures that like they've been able to divide the masses like that.
And they kind of needed to. Like if, as you said, if you are selling a console that is in all other respects very similar to the competing company's console, you have to do something to differentiate yourself. And these are the two paths that Xbox and PlayStation have gone down. So I really love both, but it's going to be interesting to see how people think, you know, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is what we started talking about. Let us know if you're intending to buy it in the comments. But Rob, we've got the next segment, what we are watching /playing/reading. Rob, I got to tell you something. I watched an anime based on your recommendation. I did that for you for the podcast. Samurai Champloo. I've watched. I've watched the first 6 episodes. I think it's really cool. Okay, so this Samurai Champloo, for those of you that don't know, it's like it has an awesome soundtrack. It's like in the Edo Japanese era, and it's just about samurais going and doing cool shit. Like that's a very, very top line. I don't want to spoil anything, but I love the soundtrack. Like you feel like it wouldn't mix, but it does, and it kind of, you know, it goes along with his fighting style as well as a samurai. I wouldn't consider him a samurai, but the story is interesting to me. I'm enjoying it, man. I want to see more, but it's only been 6 episodes in.
It's really good. Yeah, and you know what? Why I think like how I know it's good is because I generally like your Naruto Sasuke relationships. I hate them. I hate that dynamic where there's two main characters and they hate each other and they're competing rivals but best mates. Like I hate that. I hate that. Samurai Champloo had a side main character that I actually liked, that I actually liked watching, and that for me is huge. Huge, because generally I just do not like it. So I'm glad you like it.
No, absolutely, man. I'm going to do that every now and again. Whenever you recommend, or even someone in the comments recommends a random anime, I'll watch the first few episodes and I'll talk about it on an episode.
Yeah, because I have watch the first few episodes of Gate.
Okay, you know what I had next on my list? Genuinely, I had Konosuba, but I couldn't find the original. I couldn't find the original one on Crunchyroll. There's like a new spin-off version of it, and I knew that it wasn't the one you were talking about.
Yeah, it's not. There's another site called High Dive, which does a lot of the older stuff. Because I've noticed Crunchyroll does like seasons.
Yes.
So it's almost like Netflix, where I think it has to do with their obviously their streaming licenses with the shows.
That's exactly it.
After a certain amount of time, it comes off, and then you can't find the original, or you can't find season 1 of something. And
yeah. Dude, that happened with One Punch Man. It just disappeared from Crunchyroll, and I was so upset because I was ready to watch it.
Have you seen One Punch Man?
I've watched enough of it on YouTube that I've seen it. Because I wanted to see it. Too. So good.
So good. Did you get to the part where we asked like Rider Man for a double to the to the fish boss?
That. Oh yeah. I remember the fish boss now.
He's just standing on the pegs, getting doubled like the strongest man in the universe. Oh, it was great.
I love the concept of that because it's so anti, and this is it's their entire point. It's so anti what anime is. Even like the final fight in the first season, there are so many references there to Dragon Ball. They're taking the piss, and
he's just bullshit.
Beating the crap out of him. Oh.
Dude, he's just bullshit, and I love it.
It's so good. He gets punched to the moon, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just hold my breath and jump back,"
and just jumps back. Like that's how strong he is. It is so silly. I love it. Funny. If you haven't seen One Punch Man, I recommend it. It is
you have
great.
To. Yeah,
but another anime for you to watch, Johnny, is Gate. Watch the first few episodes of that. If you want some action, it's pretty good. Like
I'm literally adding it to my Crunchyroll right now. That's what I want to do.
It's like what would happen if like an interdimensional portal opened up in the middle of today to like a medieval fantasy land, and then like the army moves in, like. You got knights and with swords and shields, and then we got machine guns. Like,
all right, this is what we're gonna do, Rob.
But we have jets. Like,
wait, it's not on Crunchyroll though. Someone have to find it.
Yeah, you have to find that one. I don't know what that one is.
Well, let's do that. Every episode, you're going to recommend to me a random anime, and I'll watch the first few episodes, and I'll tell you my thoughts.
Gate is good.
In the following week, I'll find it.
So what I'm watching now, I'm starting to go through the new season of anime. They've reached episode 4, and that's when I pick up the new ones.
All right.
Episode 4, because I need to be able to binge a couple at least.
Fair.
Hey, also, this is a question to yourself, but also to all our viewers and listeners. Tell me if you guys relate to me. So when I'm watching an episode of anime, I'll happily pause it and close it down and just pick it up whenever that next time is. Like, so I'll be like 7 minutes in, I'll pause it, close the tab, and then go off and then pick it up, I don't know, 2 days from now when I next have time at 7 minutes in. Are you like that?
Rob, I'm not bullshitting you right now. I literally did that with Samurai Champloo at 7 minutes in the last episode, specifically. I don't know what it is about anime. I'm happy to be like, I did that with Vinland Saga all the time. I'm just going to drop it, and a week from now, I'll pick up midway in an episode. All the time. Yeah, well, it's like I'll do that with my books. Like I'll be reading, and then you have to put the book down. It's like the exact same, because I'll have dinner and watch an episode, but I'll eat dinner. I won't breathe, and I'll just inhale my food, and I'll be like halfway through, and then I'll just pick it up later. Yeah, yeah. I feel like you can do that with anime because it's fairly easy to pick up. But when it's like one thing I can't do that with is a video game. If I drop a video game in the middle of like a quest line or even just like generally, it doesn't matter where, unless I've finished something and I pick up in the middle of it, I get so confused. I'm like, what are the controls? What the hell was going on? It's happening to me again with the game that I'll never finish, God of War. It keeps happening. I have no idea what's going on. I'm going to learn everything again.
It obviously depends how soon you pick it up, right?
Yeah.
But I'm talking like in a generally close proximity. But like I know, for instance, my wife, she can't stop her episodes until she watches that one. Like
my wife's the same. She's exactly
like
the same.
She has to finish that one before she can move on with anything else. Whereas like I'm like, why can't you just pause it and watch the rest tomorrow? She goes, oh, there's only 10 minutes left. I'm like,
I do that to her all the time. Like, hey, you want to go for a walk or take our dog for a walk? Oh, there's 10 minutes left on the episode. I'm like, you can just pick it up. No, I got to finish it.
Yeah.
All right.
So in terms of what we are watching, so I am watching the new season. Where is it? I just started My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999.
The names of the anime you watch,
these
man,
titles
honestly.
are getting
they're getting longer and longer.
they're getting out of hand. But it was a recommendation from someone in our comments, and I appreciate that. I would have. It was already in my watch list, but I appreciate you guys looking after me anyway. I saw someone comment down below if I am a man of culture, and I am a man of culture. And here's a recommendation for everyone, for adults only. It's hilarious. I think it was really, really good. It's called Prison School.
Okay.
It is how you going, but funny, dude. Funny. Makes no sense. Like
all right.
It's good. Watch a couple episodes of that. Tell me what you think next week.
No, you know what? It's in Crunchyroll, so I'll add it to my watch list. 100%. That's the one I watch.
It's different, but I think that should answer your question.
Honest question, Rob. Though,
unknown commenter.
If I wanted to watch it on the train on the way to work, is it safe for public viewing?
I wouldn't. I don't watch anime in public ever. Ever, because I don't know. It's weird.
Whenever there's a fan service episode, those are the worst.
Yeah. Oh no, that whole series is fan service.
Well, that's the problem that we have. So no, your answer is definitely no.
When you're on the train on the way to work tomorrow, that's when you pick it up. All right.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to watching it.
So that's my viewing talk so far. Playing.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Ragnarok still?
Because I'm for my YouTube channel, I'm playing through Fallout 4. I'm still playing because I'm doing a new series. Right? I'm pretty much going through.
How's that going?
Dude, it's actually doing really well. Essentially what I'm doing is going through each area slowly and even unmarked locations and just finding cool stuff to talk about. So it could be hidden details or secrets or bugs and trying to decipher them and stuff like that. And people seem to be liking it a lot, and it gives me a new reason to play Fallout 4. So that's what I'm doing. I'll forever be doing that because I'm constantly making videos on it. And then not really playing anything else at the moment. But
survival?
No. No, hold on. And there's a good reason for this. It's because of the series. Because I stop and I record a lot. So if all the notifications that I'm hungry and crap pop up, it ruins the video. So that's the only reason why.
It doesn't.
No, it does, Rob.
Video.
It does. You'll just die. I'll die standing there recording a car.
Okay.
But you know what we're going to be playing next week? Redfall. Redfall launches next week. So that's for sure.
That'll be very, very cool. Where can they watch you jam that?
I will stream it on my personal channel. So if any of you are interested, Lone Vault Wanderer, I'll 100% do that. It's going to be interesting. Rob, assuming you'll pick up a code, we should totally play Redfall. I think it'll be up your alley.
Definitely. I intend to go to the Redfall launch event next week.
So do I. I'll see you there.
Then I'll see you there. We should record something there.
Oh, we should. I agree.
I don't know
in
what.
person.
We'll put it on YouTube Shorts or however that works.
I agree. We'll think. Let us know at this Redfall event. What do you want Rob and I to record as a less than 1 minute short on YouTube, and we'll put it up as a short, guaranteed.
Yeah, you guys who follow my socials, I will be spamming it. So yes, so stay tuned on that if you are interested in how that goes.
Yeah.
What I'm playing. So what am I playing? Okay, I want to jump back into Ragnarok Online. Not the mobile game because that's just couldn't work it out. Is
you dropped that so fast,
mate. And everything that I looked up was just like buy it from the cash store. Buy it from the cash store. Buy it from the cash store.
Play a mobile game. What did you expect?
Yeah, I'm going to have to invest too much here to actually get a kick out of it. And then all my friends wouldn't play it with me, so I was like, whatever. So I'm going to jump back into the original Ragnarok Online. I'm going to start my own little thing and just have fun with that. Because anybody who's played Ragnarok Online knows you don't ever quit Ragnarok Online. It just comes back like an addiction, and you just feel like grinding.
Fair.
So yeah, I don't know how to do it yet because I don't know what server I'm going to jump on or what's happening with that. But yeah, that's more or less it.
Hell yeah. Well, are you reading anything or is that it as well?
I'm waiting. For the fourth book of a series that comes out, I think either tomorrow or the day after. The Mother of Learning was before that. Recommended that last week. Next one I think that comes out it's either Monarch, which is like another time travel one. It's really cool. Or it's like Carl's something adventure. I don't know. He's like everybody on Earth got abducted.
Yep.
And put into a game show, and like a survival game show where they have to get through the floor without dying. You know.
Okay,
and
so it's kind of like Squid Game with aliens.
Yeah, and and obviously because it's a book, like the floors are different and they change up, and there's a whole bunch of politics and everything else involved. But it's very well written. I really enjoy it. But I thought I'd give everybody a recommendation to the sci-fi fantasy genre. A book is called Prince of Thorns. If you want to get into a fantasy book, Jonny, Prince of Thorns, like really good book, really, really, really stellar book, really good book. But yeah, anyway.
That's what we're watching, playing, and reading. And for those of you that have stuck around right to the end, we of course have our fan questions. Thank you to everyone who's submitted. We can't get to everyone. Like there's a lot of questions that are asked week to week, but we try and pick a nice variety of questions.
They notice that we add, like they notice we read the comments and we just add what they're asking about in the actual podcast itself. I'm sure. If 100%. You don't, that's what we do. Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's like we mentioned when we started this, that's where a lot of our content comes from.
Yep.
Is you guys asking, requesting things and us delivering.
Yeah. We genuinely read every single comment. So like we made the cameras bigger because someone suggested it. We added what we are reading because someone suggested it. Anime that you've suggested, Rob has now watched. So like all the time, every comment we read, we might not respond to everything, but we do try and pick as many questions as we can in this segment. So Rob, the first question is coming from Carl3, and he asks, should the UFC add more weight divisions? And if yes, how many and what categories?
Oh, mate, that's hard. What do you reckon?
I would say no. Like there are certain divisions, especially where this is prevalent, but they're stretched relatively thin. I don't know what you would do with like in between divisions like that. I think there's enough as it is.
Yeah, I agree too. I understand that like some fighters get caught in that mid space where they're just not big enough for the division up, or they're just a little too big for the division below. But mate, you can't create new divisions for one or two fighters. That's just not how. That's not how we operate here, mate. So.
And then, like, who fills those divisions? There's probably not enough fighters even to go do a top 10 ranking. Like,
and some of the let's be honest, some of the divisions are like aren't deep enough to begin with. No. Like the talent is so heavily centered in like the top 10 or the top 20 that like if you lose half of them, you're gonna have You want to have like a 1990 heavyweight UFC division. It's just like two good dudes. Like early 2000 heavyweight division. This is like top
fair.
5. You know?
No, I agree completely. So there's your answer, Carl. And next up we have Sir Goob asking 2 questions. Number 1, how did you boys meet each other? And 2, this one for me. This is nice. Does Jonny train MMA or any aspects? And if so, what does he enjoy the most? So, Rob, how did you and I meet? We've told the story briefly in the first episode.
We have. We met at a pub in Moree. We were just up there hanging out, and we met through Bethesda.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I used to work there as a community manager. Rob, you do a lot of stuff with Bethesda to this day.
Yeah.
And
I've been
that's how we met.
Brand ambassador for a long time. And our love of games brought us together.
Absolutely. I think it was specifically where we first met was a PAX. And I remember, I don't know if you remember this. We had this little thing where we had you responding to people as Bethesda. And I was sitting next to you, looking at you on my laptop, responding to people. And I'm like, oh no, what's he going to say next? It was the best thing ever. I don't know if you remember that. It was great.
Yeah, I do. And you were sweating because
I was sweating.
Didn't know what. This was luckily before Bethesda was a public company.
There's a photo somewhere of me just going like this, like, oh no, and Rob just laughing on the laptop. It was the funniest thing.
Get this in, yeah.
Yeah, but the second part of, what were you saying, sorry?
No, and then we had a lot of interactions since then, and the rest is history.
No, absolutely. And now we'll see each other next week at the Redfall launch party and record that short.
We will.
But the second part of that question was, do I train MMA? Not anymore. I never trained MMA specifically. I was training karate, Goju-Ryu when I grew up because my dad was a sensei. So that's how I got into fighting and my love of fighting. But I've never trained specifically in MMA. I just enjoy the sport. I'm a casual. I will completely admit that wholeheartedly. I just enjoy watching the sport. I don't have as much technical knowledge as Rob or others out there, but I enjoy talking about fights and, talking about what I see. So that's my background in /MMA and karate. Awesome. The third question that I have, Dixie Chan asks, will you guys ever do a cosplay of your favorite game characters and who will they be?
Mate, if I was given a cosplay, I'm not going to bloody go buy one. If anybody saw my last Halloween costume, you can understand that. It was just a box. I was a box. I don't put a lot of effort into my dress ups.
But if you were, I guess, video game character.
I guess the better question is, who is my favorite game character?
I would say, I don't know if it's not your favorite, but I think you would do a really good Kratos from God of War. I think you just aesthetically you would match that perfectly.
Well, yeah, I think I could pull that off. But I think if I had to pick my favorite, like an actual character, it would have to be. I think my favorite character is Squall from Final Fantasy VIII.
Okay. Hold on,
I think he's my favorite. I think he's my favorite character. I look nothing like him. Don't even bother.
Well, that's why I want to sit. Yeah, you look. That's the dude in the meme where it's with the girls like, "You're so beautiful," and then it's just his pixelated face. That's the exact same guy. Yeah, I reckon you can pull him.
Yeah, but who's your favorite game character?
Well, so the one cosplay that I always I want to do for a while. You played Borderlands, the psychos from Borderlands with the masks and the weapons. I did that at a PAX once. That was the one person that I always wanted to do. The second one would be Booker DeWitt from BioShock Infinite. I want to do a Booker DeWitt at some stage. I don't look like the guy either, but it's the cosplay that I've always wanted to do because BioShock is my favorite game of all time and series of all time, next to Fallout, of course. But yeah, Booker DeWitt from BioShock Infinite.
It would be a cool cosplay that I should do next Halloween. You know the Wii Fit instructor on Smash Bros? I should totally do that. That just seems like it'd be like one of those suits.
You just got to get the exact colors and the exact style. You rock it, Rob. I reckon.
Hula hoop.
Yeah, do one of the me characters you've made in the past.
Oh, they're so crap though. They're fun, but they're so crap.
No, I love them so much. But the last question that we have, I like this question. Marco Rempoldi asks, Rob, specifically for you, are there any hobbies, projects, or big adventures that you're looking forward to starting when you eventually finish fighting down the line? Is there something that you want to do a lot after that?
Yeah, I guess I'm doing it now. I would like to move into this scene, podcasting, YouTubing, and talking about things that excite me the way that we're doing literally right now. We're talking about fights, we're talking about video games and anime and books. And yeah, that's what I guess I want to really devote my time to doing, because I just love doing it so much. Like this podcast that we've put together hasn't been a struggle for me to do, just because of how much fun I have talking about it. Yeah, you know, and yeah, just love shooting the shit with you and just
for sure
just enjoy this.
It's become so seamless to do. Like there was a bit of legwork to get everything set up. Like we set you up and it was like learning, because I haven't edited a podcast in a while, but literally we do everything in one night, and we're recording this now on a Thursday night. It'll be out tonight because we've got it so good at recording it, good at editing it, good at posting all about it.
Hats off to you. You do all the back work. So
but
you
like
deserve
genuinely.
that. And everything looks so good. Like, let's give our little hats off to you, because you do put in the hard yards and edit all the videos and make sure they're all pristine, which they look amazing. Everyone agrees.
I appreciate that, man. But like, I love hearing you talk about like, you know, you being in this podcasting space, because like we do have plans for this channel. Like once it gets really big, there is no stopping what we can do. It doesn't just have to be this one podcast once a week. You know, sky is the limit, and when it comes to what we can do with the channel when it grows.
Definitely. And we've spoken about it, like depending, once we get like a solid foundation of what we're doing, opening up more episodes of like getting in guests and opening up our channels to different avenues and whatnot. But yeah, that's the future. We're currently just trying for episode 7 right now. So let's ground ourselves a little bit for now.
Absolutely. We were just talking about before we started that it's a statistic that like over 90% of podcasts fail and don't reach episode 7. Episode 7 is today's episode, and we are here. So thank you to everyone who's been watching or listening until this point. Rob, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, that's it. There was one more question. Someone asked if I played Dragon Age or
Mass Effect.
What's this? Mass Effect. And I have played them both. Didn't really get into Mass Effect. I'm not much of a sci-fi dude. But Dragon Age took a lot of my life when it, like Dragon Age Origins, bro. Spent so much time into it. And then played obviously 2 and Inquisition as well. They are great games. They are really, really cool.
You know, I've never gotten to Dragon Age. That's a admission for me, because I know they're great games. I need to. I've played the first Mass Effect. I know. I
named my daughter after one of the characters. Don't tell my wife. My daughter's name is Liliana. I think you can make the connection. But
that is great. Hopefully she doesn't reach to this point of the podcast.
I hope she doesn't go through the comments, because everybody's going to be ratting me out. Don't say you won't. I know you guys. I know our listeners. They're ratting me out as we speak.
That is freaking hilarious to drop at the end of the podcast. But thank you everyone for watching episode 7 of MMArcade. We really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or where else you listen to your podcast, thank you so much. And we'll see you the same time next week. Take care.
See you next week, guys. Thanks.